The draft has just started. Syndrome has disappeared. You have attended to your caffeinated needs.
Yes, I have a variety of beverage needs, all of which have been met, at least for now.
Excellent.
I'm happy. Are you happy?
Yes, I am.
Good.
Let's draft.
Yes, let's draft.
Let's dance.
I want to give a shout out to K-Poptosis, which came with a very good name for the trinity of Axe, Juggernaut, and Troll.
He stole that from Reddit. It was on Reddit.
It wasn't Reddit?
Yeah, he saw it. No, I didn't. I'm calling him out. He saw it.
Okay.
Yeah.
He says
maybe
no.
K-Pop came with it separately.
I don't know. I just threw a K-pop under the bus. It was on Reddit, though.
What is it called?
Spin Doctors.
Oh. No, that was not on Reddit.
That's a really good nickname.
Yeah.
I'm
sorry.
I just got muted.
Lumi got muted.
Lumi got muted.
Never piss off the producer, man.
Yeah. He has the power.
Yeah.
Put him, you know what? Put him like, pan him slightly to one of the sides so people get really annoyed when they listen to him.
I'm just going to associate bad feelings with him.
Yes, exactly. I did that in the studio once I was producing, and I had like one of the guys casting would just like randomly pan left and right. You don't want to hear that. It really annoys you to some point that you get annoyed at that person particularly. So now you know K-pop. You have a weapon in your hands. Use it wisely. EHOME will get the butt rider first.
The butt rider.
The butt rider. And HellRaisers gets the Dazzle first pick.
We're going to see that anti-mage aggressive tri-lane.
How strong is Dazzle right now? From 1 to 10, Lumi.
I think on a CIS team, probably like a 10.
Okay.
Because a lot of what they want to do is like team fight early, which is very good on the grave, turns the fight around. He's good at tower diving. And honestly, the vision that you get from team, I think vision is one of the most underrated thing. Just from support in general.
Right.
And you get that. Like I think the other day it was.
How long does the wave vision last?
It's pretty long, I think.
It's
quite a few seconds.
Yeah. Honestly, just scouting Roche is a big deal, but Doombringer is a hero that we haven't seen too much, and HellRaiser, well, it fits her name.
Yep.
It definitely fits the feel and the image of the team. Yeah, I just want to echo, I think Dazzle is in a really good place right now. I'd say CIS Dota, if not a 10, then definitely like 8 to 10. And in general, I think he's up there. Teams are picking heavy physical damage. He's great against that. He also punishes like a lot of these aggressive off-lane melee heroes. You try to be Axe and go up in the creep wave, bam, heal bomb. Suddenly you're not having a good time.
Yeah.
It
synergizes very well with Broodmother, for example, or like a lot of creeps that can create a heal bomb.
Exactly. And I mean, we even saw teams try to run it mid. I think Navi tried to run it mid for Dendi the other day. Didn't work, but it's a very versatile hero. He uses farm well, but he doesn't need that much. He just needs levels and even 1 point in all of his skills. Well, not so much poison touch, but the heal and the grave is still quite valuable.
And a little bit of love.
Yes.
Because we all need that.
Bloodseeker banned out by EHOME.
Well, that's a respect
HR did run it yesterday. Now, it's something EHOME love to run in their own right. It is very good against Lycan.
Yeah.
As well as Bat. You go in with the last, you get Ruptured. Well, you're not taking that hero anywhere, and I'd say Rupture is just a hard counter to Lycan in team fights.
Yes, definitely. Rupture level 1 is not going to do much, even if you're Lycan. But once it gets to that level 2 and eventually level 3, it's just so annoying to deal with. You can't BKB out of it. You pretty much are immobile, better than any other stun or anything. So we're not going to see Bloodseeker on this game. We're not going to see Visage coming from EHOME either because HellRaisers decided to ban it. We lost the Dota symbols on the other ones. I'm sad about that.
What?
Which computer are we seeing?
It's weird because watch.
Okay.
10 seconds.
Do you know how like the
HellRaiser's like logo is going up and down.
5 seconds.
No,
remaining.
if you go to your other game and just go out,
go out, like
in,
press the
press
little
the up
arrow
button.
up top.
Yeah, I know.
well, do it.
It's back.
K-pop.
Ta-da!
I'm just giving Brian.
Wow.
Yay!
Okay.
All right,
No, I'm
so HellRaisers now, they see the Lycan Bat Rider. ZYF normally the one who's going to play the Lycan.
Yep.
So you still got a Mushi here to worry about. Ohio, I'd say Bat Rider is his best hero right now. He hasn't really been that great in the offlane, especially not compared to, like, I go back to TA3 and to me Ohio was, him and KYXY were really, the supports got a lot of love heading into that event because Extinct was and Net were playing
Net
sensational on like the Sand King, the Rubik. and Extinct on his junglers as well. But I think the real heroes for them were KYXY, and of course Mushi gets a lot of attention, as well as Ohio in the offlane. Nature's Prophet.
You just named all of the team.
Oh yeah, but I'm saying like the two supports of Mushi got a lot of the hype, but it was really KYXY and Ohio who were doing the heavy lifting.
Do you think Ohio is more of a bulldog player, where split pushing is more of his game?
I think he's really struggled to play more farm-oriented offlaners as of late. He's a little bit too self-sacrificial, and it doesn't seem like that works as well right now.
He played a pretty decent bristleback yesterday against Cloud9, in the game that you casted, I think. Yeah, where the Reaper side didn't kill him,
Yeah.
But, yeah, I would have to agree with that. I don't think Ohio of now is as good as Ohio of TI3.
I think it's mostly just a style thing. He excels when it's almost like being a support, where you just have limited resources to work with, but you do as much as you can. I think he can evolve, though, but we just haven't seen it yet. So HR, third pick here. They go for the Doom. I mean, there's always like that Storm Spirit, Doom, Silencer type of strategy they could look to run. Going for Dazzle. We're not going to see the Dazzle Venge combo. It's honestly kind of an early Doom pick, I feel. Doesn't really like counter anything EHOME are doing, but it gives you a bit of insurance. Can fight fairly early. Can also go late.
And it's still very flexible. You can
It's
put
it's an open-ended type of pick.
Yeah. You can be greedy if EHOME decides to go greedy. Now they do get the Rubik with no particular idea in mind of what to do with this Rubik.
Well, it's more of a counter to the Bat Rider, because that's traditional how it's run. Bat blinks in and you just lift. But I really don't like Rubik against Lycan in general, because in terms of against a push from a Lycan, Fable is just not going to cut it as a defensive mechanism.
Yeah.
And a team fight, if Lycan decides to run at you, you really don't have any way to deal with that either, apart from lifting, tossing back, and still dying to the Lycan. So it's really just for the Bat, and we'll see if that actually pays off.
EHOME will come with the Ancient Apparition. This is a hero that I haven't seen yesterday. I don't know if anyone picked it at all, but not in the games that I was watching.
I'm sure he got picked.
HellRaiser picked it once. They picked it on their anti-mage offensive trialing.
And they ran it with the Nature's Prophet as well.
So a little bit of global from them.
A little bit
Chilling
of global.
Touch, Howl, you're securing your lanes with that.
Yeah, definitely. And
HR
also
are not going to want to take level 1 fights.
And also good against Dazzle in general. Will stop the heal.
Yeah.
Will make it pretty annoying.
Grave wears off, you shatter.
Yeah, exactly. So...
And the Bat Rider AI is just kind of a classic combo. You lasso someone, and then you set up the quick kills. And HR actually pick into a Slark against this. It is very good against Bat Rider, though.
It is good against Bat Rider. Ancient Apparition can't do anything against the Slark. It really can't.
Well, but you prevent him from regenning, though.
Yeah, I mean, that is...
And you can't Dark Pact it off.
What I mean is, like...
But you can't, lock him down.
It's a support that if caught alone is going to die. If you get blasted,
it's one of those weird things where they kind of almost counter each other.
Yes.
AA very weak at actually shutting down the Slark in fights, but Slark very vulnerable without his regen.
Looks like a support Wraith King. We haven't seen this for a while, but even before this Wraith King pickup, I feel like HellRaiser is just really weak in the lanes. How are they going to just beat How when it's trading harass?
Yeah, EHOME could very well go aggressive here. And maybe HR try to dodge, throw the Slark off lane. They really would like that Slark Bat Rider matchup, even 1v1, but I don't know if they're going to get that.
It's going to be hard.
I think if you're EHOME, you're probably looking at Lycan mid, and then throwing this Bat Rider. I mean, if they go aggressive, then throwing the Bat Rider into the safe lane. And Wraith King +1, that's going to be really tough to deal with if you're HR.
Mushi's generally picking his hero last, though. So it feels like this is a Wraith King support, AA support, like in safe lane.
HellRaiser is going to bring the Beastmaster back.
Mushi's been playing a decent amount of Ursa. I don't know if we're going to see that this
way,
like but there's that Ursa Wraith King combo you could always toss out.
I like Beastmaster here. The only problem I see with HellRaiser is that they don't have any of the heroes that have great late game carry potential.
Well, they have Doom Slark.
No,
that's pretty good.
That's the thing. It's like Doom and Slark, they can get a lot of items and become scary, but none of them have any ability that.
Well, this could be a really strong Aura strat. Doom get it.
I don't know. I think HR is really good late game.
Yeah, I think they
Eggs Refresher Doom is ridiculous. Slark, Essence Shift, you win man fights against almost every carry at some point.
Except Lycan.
I'm Lycan. I'm a little more worried, like Lumi said, just about the laning stage.
Yeah.
I really don't know how they get through
it. You have 3 melee cores up against Chilling Touch as well as How damage globally. Like, I just don't think they could win the lanes.
What is this last EHOME pick? If they want to go aggressive tri-lane, they have a good setup stun. They have the follow-up. Just any sort of slow or stun really would work there. I do feel EHOME's a bit light on their own late game, though. Right now, it's just Lycan, really. maybe something that goes well with the Bat Rider that can allow them to find more pickoffs around the map.
I think the Bat and AA is already enough in terms of a pickoff squad. But if they want to add more global, Zeus mid is not bad. You're dealing with strength heroes, so your static field is what's it called.
Yeah.
Does percentage damage, but that might be too ambitious in terms of a global strat. I think Mushi just picks his Shadow Fiend, get a quick mech, and do what he did back in DK, just the mech push. And it's just really hard for the mid-game HellRaisers to deal with it.
It is not a great Shadow Fiend game, though, if you look at the heroes.
Okay, do so.
Okay, that's a Dusa.
That's a late game.
That is late game.
Yeah, I would. So
is it too far more?
Stop going aggressive now.
Oh,
most of the Chinese teams are running the Medusa mid.
Yeah.
So Lycan probably goes safe lane. I think they go defensive tri lane here.
Wait, is this a jungle bat?
No,
probably
bat.
off lane bat and just defensive tri lane. But they had some real good offensive tri lane potential. So it is interesting to see them back down, as it felt like HR were a bit weak there.
So the other day, EHOME also picked the Medusa in combination with the Lifestealer, I want to say. Do you know what build he went for that game?
Not sure, but I can try to find out.
Yeah, let's check it out. If there's like, I'm wondering if this is a very farming-oriented Medusa or a very fighting-oriented one, because. But we'll talk about that as LD gets the info.
Yeah, and I will leave you guys to the game.
All right.
So
Bruno, thank you for joining us.
No problem.
And we'll talk to you after.
Do you think HR has this? EHOME has this?
I actually like. If EHOME's not going aggressive, I'm gonna say I like EHOME's a bit better, but I think they could be, if they're too passive in the laning stage, HR can really take advantage. So I'll say EHOME, but not super confident.
Okay.
I'm with the EHOME as well.
Fair enough.
Yeah, okay. I think they're the better team, but.
Yeah, more so than draft, I do agree they're the better team.
Okay, so EHOME on the dire side already invading jungle. Inflame will be playing the Wraith King here. Got boots first, looking to be aggressive. I believe Yang on the Lycanthrope. Mushi on the solo Medusa. Ohio offlane Batrider, also with boots. And last but not least, DDC on the Ancient Apparition.
This is the beauty of that Lycan AA pick. Even though the rest of their heroes aren't really that good at level 1, it doesn't matter. You can still invade the enemy jungle. HR not going to contest. And on the side of your HellRaisers, you've got Goddamn playing Mr. Rubik up to the north. Arts going to be taking over the Slark role. Heading mid will be Affininge on the Beastmaster mid. Gorash going to be playing the Doom. And for now, heads to the offlane. He's joined by Dread, who has really stepped up his game for HR over the past couple weeks. Oh no, Goddamn, this is trouble. Do they have enough for the kill? He tries to run out one more auto attack. First blood to EHOME, and they knew they were in their woods too. Just gets cocky, and that was an easily avoidable first blood.
Yeah, this is something that Cinderin pointed out in his reference of the match, HellRaiser versus Secret. Like, they had a better laning draft that game. If they didn't make these individual mistakes, they would really easily crush Secret. And HellRaiser, to me, is a team that just makes a ton of mistakes. And I think EHOME will definitely capitalize on it, especially, like, they knew they were in the jungle. He had boots.
They had eyes on them.
Yeah. So these
and you know how good that's why they didn't fight, because they know how good those heroes are at level 1.
Medusa goes stats level 1.
You're not mic'd up, by the way.
I know.
Medusa, did she go stats level 1? Bruno's asking.
Yes,
she did.
Yeah.
Bruno, you're gonna keep on asking questions without a headset on. Oh man. So yeah, looking at this bottom lane right now, Ohio up against a Rubik Slark, not really the best at pressuring the offlane Batrider, so he can get quite a bit here. And meanwhile, HR running a dual lane in the offlane, but EHOME's tri-lane has a lot of kill potential. There is Grave, but that said, if you just keep on chasing, you might be able to kill a hero even through that.
Yeah, I think Doom mostly here to soak the experience. The camp on the left is not warded off, so he should get a pull here. But I mean, 2-1-2 from HellRaiser. They really don't expect to win the lane, so experience is really what they are looking for, and I think they're going to get it.
Yeah, and as long as they don't start feeding in this tri-lane, they're probably in okay shape. As we see Ohio, he's going to look to cut this lane bottom. He's going to drag the creeps off. He clarity'd, and now it's broken. And he brings them into the tree line, so creeps are going to start pushing under the tower a bit. HR have no pulls available. That really hurts them. Goddamn will chase him, but there's no follow-up here for the Rubik. So Ohio just continues to get free experience in the offlane. And a Rubik that, as you mentioned, needs levels. Going to be starving a bit to find them.
It's a very interesting move that he made that cut on the bottom because he didn't have Firefly. If you just Firefly over a neutral camp, you will farm both the wave and the neutrals, and that would be really good. But he was kind of just stuck in an
aggressive observer ward mid. Looks like the courier might get sniped out. Oh, goddamn, going in. This is a huge play if he gets it. That's the bottle and more, I believe. No,
wow.
Boots.
Wow.
Oh my goodness. Oh my. What a snipe. He dropped the ward and then he just stuck around expecting the courier to come out. They saw Mushi still no items and oh man, it was worth it. But now it's EHOME's turn for potentially a trade. And Flame was waiting for this rotation. Alpha Ninja diving the tower and one more auto attack will finish him off. Can they get a range? No. The body box from goddamn. He's going to live. What a play. Goddamn.
Strongly makes up for that first split feed.
And he's got some moves.
Yeah. Well, we were worried about their early game, but if you snipe a bottle or snipe a courier like that, yeah, that's pretty good.
That is game-changing as hell. Now, I mean, granted, Medusa, very difficult to dislodge from the lane anyway, and a Beastmaster, not the best hero at forcing her out, so it's not like you're up against already tough matchup, and then you lose your bottle, and now you just have to go Fountain, but it's still not good.
Yeah, they're going to make it go here. Not going to stun first. I thought they were definitely going to go for the Dazzle, but missing a little bit of their stun action, and the gank goes the other way. In fact, is A going to be a little bit trouble? The lift's going to toss back, and A, it's going to be dead. The early game aggressions from HellRaiser.
Man, everybody low right now in EHOME. The Ancient Apparition just dead. Your Wraith King back to the well. The Medusa can't ferry us south here. And Alpha Ninja just continues to spam out the axes, I imagine. May actually force him back before the courier respawns.
Yeah, I mean, you were saying that Deuce is really hard to dislodge, but that's assuming that he's got some regen, which...
Yeah.
Right
I mean, he was trading hits earlier because he's like, okay, courier's coming with tangos, but not the case.
So I'm also very curious in terms of what build this Beastmaster is going to go for. When Fata goes mid on this Beastmaster, he max Call of the Wild first, and essentially he just spams boars and hawks all day. And with 2 boars, you're looking at something like 130 damage just for last hitting and denying. That's Shadow Fiend levels of damage. That's pretty impressive. Especially against Dusa, who does not have a courier, you should dominate the lane. So I think Beastmaster, with this new Call of Wild change, actually is one of the stronger mid laners that we don't really see being spammed enough.
Yeah, generally. Oh, bottom lane. Ohio getting caught out now. They lifted him, then they catch him out with the latch, and the follow-up auto attack's enough to bring him down. Inflame arrives. Can he get the counter kill? Arts is going to drop low, but as the stick charges, and will end up surviving and retreating out. A big takedown there on your off-lane Batrider, and they do it with a fairly middling dual lane. It's not a particularly dominant one.
Yeah.
That's a big kill. And, well, as for EHOME, this is the beauty of the Lycan pick. Even if the lane's not going that well, you can always go wood. So they give the lane out of the Ancient Apparition. Something we've seen a lot from Cloud9 with their Terrorblade back when they were running it quite regularly. Just make sure those level-dependent supports get them. But A has to be careful with his positioning because they have this ward behind the pole camp, so they're going to see there's nobody in the neighborhood and potentially be able to dive him.
Any questions on Beastmaster's first item of choice? What do you think he's
Necrobook seems like the item right now.
Yeah, Necrobook really good against Dusa this game as well.
I think that's part of why they picked the Beastmaster, actually.
Actually,
that's a big consideration.
The Hawk's going to be amazing against Bat, right? In terms of those late game Bat jumps. Having the division there is going to be huge. Looks like Goddamn's going to get initiated on. I don't think he'll make it out alive. He does lift, trying to toss him away actually towards the tower. He's going to go down here first. And I think Ohio should get the kill. No, Rift King takes it. All right.
In the meantime, DDC just taking a bit of harassment here from the Dazzle, but is okay so far and continues to collect his levels. HR having a surprisingly strong laning stage with all these early rotations. The courier snipe huge for them.
Yeah, yeah.
And off-lane Doom leading the charge with 34 CS. And this is the big downside to abandoning the tri-lane. Yeah, you can get a little more in the way of levels for your support, but it comes at the cost of a free farm Doom.
On the off-lane.
Yeah.
So, given how the game is going so far, do you want to revise a little bit in terms of the game prediction? Because HellRaiser is doing a lot better.
I don't think we're allowed to do that.
Okay, well... Do you want to favor HellRaiser more now?
I think, well, of course, but I still think EHOME of the kind of draft that can play from a deficit. You have Lycan. You also have the Wraith King, so you can sneak Roche very easily and without losing too much health in the pit. HR are pretty good at scouting it, but I don't think they're that great at contesting into the pit. You have Doomos to walk in, Beastmaster the same, and you walk onto a Dusa like that, Stone Gaze is really going to push you back. So I still think EHOME are in decent shape here, but... yeah, this is much better for HR than what we would have predicted moving in.
Yeah, and I think the impact of the early game is going to be felt very soon because even though EHOME does have stronger mid game, and I agree with everything you said about the Roshan pit, they're not going to get that strong in the next 5 to 10 minutes, right? Bat Blink is like the only big item they're going to get.
It's a pretty late Bat Blink, actually. I don't think they have any stacks for him in the woods, and that's because they've been running the Lycan, so it's the trade-off of that rotation they made.
Right, whereas HR is strong now, with the Beastmaster online, with the Doom already online, so if HR just decides to crash the gate and start looking at these fights, you're looking at a Dusa that has no items, you're looking at Bat doesn't have Blink, and Lycan can't really even fight. So if HR fights now, won't EHOME just get overrun?
Yeah, I think if they fight now, they're
they're looking to fight now. That
Bat's actually walking top. I was thinking he'd go for more of a Bone 7 play, Ohio, just try and steal the enemy neutrals and put
stack the
pressure
tower
on them, but he's trying to come to the fight, and HR looking for a tower dive here. EHOME working their way, worming their way deep behind the tree line, but the axes are going to catch him out. DDC now in trouble, and Goresh maybe getting caught up by a cold feet. He will doom ZYF, but ZYF's pretty strong right now. He's managed to get off the shapeshift, and now the chase goes the other way. Not getting the doom off on the Lycan, and advances costing them. Now, goddamn, going to fall 2 dead, racing forward for a third. I think this shapeshift wears off in time, but even if he doesn't get the kill, it's Mushi with the backstab. Snake Lady in the house. Alpha Ninja in trouble now. It's going to be 4 collapsing.
What a flame break.
Oh my.
I'm
Triple
surprised.
kill of all heroes. The stinking Lycan gets it.
I mean, why did they go for that dive with the T1 still up? They could have just easily tanked it, just kill the T1 and then go for whatever dive they need to do. And the Doom that went on the shapeshifted Lycan essentially did absolutely nothing, right?
If he dooms the Lycan before he gets off shapeshift, that's a completely different fight. But yeah, ZYF with the quick reactions, and they didn't have to dive like that.
That wasn't like the old Lycan where the shapeshift is instantaneous.
Top lane, your Wraith King getting caught out, it looks like. Can they finish off in Flame? Very low, getting pounded into by goddamn one more auto attack. They get the kill. But end of the day, support Wraith King going out. I mean, the other thing is that Mushi took the tower mid.
Yeah, and rotated top for the kill. So
the rotating Medusa, not something you see very often, but it's making the difference here.
Yeah, and I think EHOME is right back in this game. In fact, leading quite a bit of margin. Surprised also that there was no TP from the Slark, because when there's a big concentrated team fight like that, Slark's one of the best heroes to TP in and try to snag a couple support kills.
That's true, and I feel like it's a very important point here is Arts is not going to fight right now. He buys a Midas, and right when he's buying Midas, that's when they're trying to take a big fight top. Without like a clear, easy pickoff to start it. They had to dive behind the tower. If they get a hero like in front of the tower, if they have a lane ward and just blow someone up as they're trying to rotate into support it, that's one thing. But when the Slark's getting Midas and not coming to fights, you don't want to be taking those aggressive kills. So it's kind of been the story for HR. I was Batrider. Not really going to TP out here. Just that sometimes they seem a little disconnected between what some of the players are doing in terms of item selections and what the rest of the team is doing in terms of hero movements. But now they have to worry about Roshan. You see the Hawk park near the pit right now. They will have to keep a watchful eye over this pit, lest EHOME sneak it. Because if EHOME take Rosh, then I think this game is suddenly completely in their corner.
Yeah, and this T1 tower, because of that, is very, very important. Mushi has been protecting it quite well. It's, in fact, in full health. So I think the Roshan control is going to be at EHOME. The only thing HellRaiser can do is, just like you said, monitor it with the Hawk and maybe challenge it if they notice.
Well, there's going to be a smoke gang top. But you asked about what the Medusa is going to go for build-wise, and he picks up an early point booster. So perhaps even a Scotty Rush for Mushi. But yeah, goddamn caught out now, and that's a dead Grand Magus.
I mean, the point booster actually makes Dusa one of the tankiest hero at this stage of the game, right? Because essentially,
a value item.
It doubles her health, or doubles what a point booster normally gives you. So in terms of what it transitioned to, she's going to be a moving pea shooter, I suppose. Like, she's not going to do any damage, but she doesn't need to because, well, in fact, you will have how damage bonus as well as the chilling touch bonus. So
it's just funny to see Mushi literally parked in the mid lane. And, I mean, looking at the dire vision right now, they only see the one hero mid and the one bottom, but he's unafraid.
Yeah. I mean, she's almost unkillable at this point, I think.
Yeah, there aren't many lineups that can easily kill Medusa, but HR, until they get like a Necro 3 and some big items or on the Slark and the Doom, there's just no way they'll easily kill her.
Yeah. And EHOME has that lineup, like you said, they're much stronger in the mid-game, so they can afford to play it slower, just farm for items. What is HellRaiser's next move in the next 5 to 10 minutes? Because I thought they're stronger, they could take more aggressive fights, and then they have a bad dive up top, so they gave away a lot of their leeway.
It seems like the way they're itemizing right now, they want to focus more on their mid to late game. Midas up on Doom as well as Slark. I think you go for pickoffs, but you don't try to take big fights. And they are looking for one now. Here comes Arts up the ramp. But he's got no blink or easy way to start the fight. And it's just awkward.
Yeah, I'm surprised.
If you want to engage, like you lead with the Rubik
exactly,
or the Doom with the Blink, but they go right before Goresh has Blink. He's like 20 gold short. I just feel like HR's timings are not quite right.
Yeah, like you said earlier, a disconnect between their items and playstyle. It definitely does not help. Meanwhile, back in the mid lane here, well, he did get Doom off, but the drag up top, the Ice Blast coming in hot, and as long as, well, he died before, Doom eats it. And that's going to be it for the gank, but...
And meanwhile, bottom, they're going to set up shop on Mushi. It looks like he gets jumped, but Stone Gaze, no problem. They're not going on this.
In fact, did that Stone Gaze get Dark Pack?
I believe so.
Yeah.
Dark Pack coming out, though. Arts is going to engage. Maybe he does get the Mushi kill. Another leap in. That's a big snag. And well, the trade, it might even be Inflame going down as well. He does have his ult slow, though. Oh! Can he get the Rubik? One poke.
Okay. That slow is just so intense. Rubik goes down, and it looks like they're going to pick up this
This fight's been going so long that now Bat Riders arrived, and they're going to chase it again. The Lycans here, ZYF. He can't decide who he wants to kill, but he gets nothing. And now Ancient Apparition's going to walk up the ramp directly into the Doom. This is just a clowny fight.
Yeah, DDC's coming in here. Ice Blast at the ready. Who is he actually going to go for?
I mean, this is a pretty good time to go Roshan. Doom's just been used. Roar's down. I feel like you just go Rosh now.
Do they have the Vlads already done on Lycan?
Yeah, he's got Vlads. Maybe, I guess he's pretty low on mana. I guess they're not going to go for it.
I'm surprised. Yeah, that is a easy Rosh. Especially if Deuce just stands out outside the pit and turns on Stone Gaze, but...
Yeah, okay. Well, I guess Stone Gaze is also cooling down, but it is up in 20 seconds. Either way, for EHOME, they're going to have other opportunities to take Rush, so just basically waiting for the prime one rather than trying to force it too soon, it looks like.
Yeah, I think it could be an unnecessary risk as well. They're still doing quite okay, leading by 5 kills, protecting their towers extremely well, and make the Beastmaster prove they could do something. We know the Necro Book's a very important pickup, but because of the deaths, he's really far from it. Well, he's got the Necro 1 in the next minute or so, but he needs the Necro 3.
Yeah, we've seen like Fada's Beastmaster have Necro 3 by like 17, 18 minutes if he's had a good start. This is not quite that. And it looks like EHOME are making a little rotation towards the Radiant Jungle, or perhaps even into the Roche pit. No Lycan here. They're going to set up as 3. Swaining now around near the Hawk. But they're not going for the pit. They're trying to set up bottom, and HR at the same time are about to get caught out. Goddamn, quickly lassoed and pulled in. That will be the death of the Rubik. Not the biggest loss, but a quick kill here, and now EHOME looking for the tier 1 bottom, it seems. And right now is when Lycan goes towards the pit.
Yeah, something that Cinderin said yesterday about Beastmaster play as of late is that it's not as effective because the Hawk control is just not that good. I think against a Bat Rider, you just need to have double Hawk. It should be spammed. That thing should not be on cooldown right now. In fact, he gets scouted out. He's going to walk away with his invis. You need to scout constantly against a Blink Bat. And
it's a really nice weave there. They got 4 heroes, but I don't know if you can walk in.
Yeah. And EHOME's found, what, 3-4 Bat ganks, and it looks like they're going to try to challenge this Blink initiation coming in, but...
He got off the shapeshift, ZYF! What a quick reaction! Even as the Doom was already being cast, he does it again. Now Goresh in trouble. He's grave, but he's effectively out of the fight. Ohio going to fall, though. They're doing a lot of AoE damage here. ZYF actually going down. The Doom ends up working out in terms of the bonus damage. Now Art's also on the run. Can they finish him off? He's going to have a pounce, and he leaps, just barely clipping up to the high ground. Medusa still healthy, though.
Whoa, wow, the snipes from the high ground. Wild Axis as well as Fable. It's going to pick off an Ancient Apparition. A 3-for-2 trade in favor of HellRaiser.
There was a big, like, Fade Bolt, Dazzle Heal, Axis trio there when that fight first broke out. I was just thinking, like, HR don't have AoE.
Yeah.
But they do, especially if the heal hits well.
You know, when you tell me that HR has double Midas on their cores, and they initiated with Doom on the Lycan shapeshifted fight, and they still won the fight. Yeah, HellRaiser still won the fight 2-3. So, okay.
But now they want to walk right back to the pit, I think.
Well, at least just make sure that the Lycan is still not doing it. But that fight was huge because it really at least gave Necro 1 to the Beastmaster. Makes the next fight much easier for him as well.
And Slark just got Shadow Blade, although Arts is not near the pit. So looks like ZYF will probably claim this Roshan. He still doesn't have his Necro book. I mean, we're talking about a fairly slow Beastmaster Necro, but ZYF not having the easiest game. This guy got a triple kill top.
Yeah. He also did abandon lane to go to the jungle a little bit.
That's
so
true.
There's that.
It slows you down quite a bit.
Yeah, and apparently losing the early game to Doom. Remember?
Yeah.
Doom being the lead farmer for a while there.
Well, yeah, they're choosing to rotate the supports out of that lane. The Ancient Apparition moving bottom definitely hurts ZYF.
So Mushi adds to... Oh, there's that... You know, maybe it's maybe they lost the fight because of the weave being there for such a long time. So they got to respect it a little bit more.
It was a 4-hero weave.
Yeah.
And then they did wait a while, too. They waited like 6-7 seconds, then they jumped in with Doom. So that's where the axes and the heal, they're physical damage. So it really hurts.
I mean, this is why, like you said, it was like 8 out of 10 in terms of how good it is for CIS teams. And they love to take these early game fights. We've did a ton of work there.
EHOME just keep on trying to force this Roshan. They do have their Wraith King ulti. They're going to walk into the pit again.
Okay, lift.
They're committing. Fortunately for Inflame, they can't quite get him up the cliff.
There is no weave for a long time now, so how do you take this fight? Because if you charge in, oh, never mind. Weave low cooldown. It's going to be back on. And this time the Doom is going to go on Dusa, but Dusa does have the Stone Gaze out. So really, Dooming here is useless. It looks like the Aegis is going to get picked up by the Lycanthrope, and the fight is going to break out. Slark on the front line trying to right-click everything. Yang's going to go down, but he's got the Aegis. It's going to come back as human form. Graves going to go off. Lycan, well, where is he? He's coming back, and he's actually not right-clicking too much. Meanwhile, on the back line here, Slark's still going to work. Batrider being forced to blink back out. Slark's still on the chase. Shadowblade cooldown in 3-4 seconds. He shouldn't die as a result. Leaps up on the high ground. What it ends up is, what, a 1-for-3 trade with Aegis in account. Slark's still looking for more. I don't think he's going to get anything here. I guess that's what's another HellRaiser victory.
Yeah, they immediately get rid of the Aegis, so EHOME can't push too aggressively. That is a huge win for them.
And
EHOME just really forcing it too much, it seems. And I think the Dazzle pick, again, that weave making such a big difference in these team fights.
And it's just the weave alone, because the Doom for a second time did absolutely nothing.
Yeah.
He doomed the Dusa, which already got her Mono Shield and Stone Gaze off, so...
Yeah, well, hey, man, he stopped that Mystic Snake.
Okay.
Okay.
So weave OP is what we've learned so far?
The pick has already proven itself to me. Even if they go on to lose this game, you can't blame the Dazzle pick for that. And this is with picking a pretty greedy trio of melee cores who need farm, don't really get too much done with the double Midas build until later on, but the Midases are going to begin paying off, Lumi. They're already the 2 lead farmers, and Medusa this game, Medusa can farm quite well. If you stack the Ancients like crazy, you really prioritize her CS, but they didn't do that. Mushi's been a much more active, team fight-oriented Medusa, and they don't have big, fat stacks waiting for him to back off to.
Not just the stacks, you really want the farming items, right? You want, for example, a Yasha to increase your farm a little bit, but since he's going for the Scotty...
That point booster does not help you CS.
No.
Even the Ultimate Orb does little compared to a Yasha.
Well, I guess you just take it really late.
Uh-oh. They're setting up on ZYF. There's a leap in here to start. Does he have a teleport? I'll use it quickly. Farts had waited just a bit longer. May have been able to catch him, though. The Lycan was on the way out, so I guess decides he may just be backing off. Let's try for it now.
Yep. And Beastmaster, you talked about the 17 to 18 minute Necro 3. He's actually going to meet that timing. A little bit late, but look at his current goes. I imagine that's a Necro 2 recipe in the stash.
I can't stress how good Mono Burn this game. It's amazing against Medusa, but it's also really good against Wraith King.
I think you want to use the active Mono Burn on Medusa, and then you just stick the 2 minions on the Wraith King itself, and he will not get off Reincarnation, ever.
And yeah, this Wraith King has Magic Stick and Shred. Speaking of Inflame, he has gone back for Midas. I think he's had it for about 4 or 5 minutes now. We didn't really get to talk about it because it was a crazy fight, but top lane, Ohio going in with the Ice Blast coming out. Do they get the kill on Gorish? The Graves there. The Ice Blast going to wear off. But the heal keeps him alive.
Okay. Well, can't heal under, but...
Well, yeah. Yeah. No,
right.
Yeah, you're right.
Beastmaster Roar goes off on the bottom lane here. Yang's going to get pinpoint again a second time. Oh, the Stone Gaze! They make it out barely, and Wolf, run! Does he have a TP? He does. He's going to TP out. But meanwhile, Dusa left on an island by himself, trying to fight her way out of there. Meanwhile, looks like Arts... Yeah, look at all the minions chasing him. He's going to have to leap to the right side, and Ice Blast is going to miss. Everybody just TPs out. Nobody dies. Okay.
What an underwhelming fight. Everything gets used. Almost nobody dies.
Yeah. I mean, this game is just 2 very, very tanky teams going into each other, right? I guess EHOME being more tanky just based on stats, and HellRaiser being tanky thanks to things like Weave and Shadow Dance and what is it, Shadow Blade and things like that. Just running away.
Yeah, I will say the Lycan doesn't feel that tanky though. He dropped very quickly.
Yeah. This doesn't feel like an Arteezy Lycan. Like when I watch Lycan being played by Arteezy, he's just always so far ahead. Batrider's going to get jumped on, and he doesn't have a TP. Quick kills.
They do not have great solutions for a snowballing Slark. They have to stop giving Arts kills.
Yeah.
There's no Doom with an Ags here. They have Ice Blast, but that's not going to cut it if Slark just gets a BKB later. And Medusa doesn't really match up that well against Slark. He relies heavily on her stats. Slark, king of prolonged fights late game. and also can just wait out the Stone Gaze. She Stone Gaze is great. You bleep away, you Dark Pact, and you just come back in once it's down. So I don't feel the matchup is going to favor EHOME at this pace.
We've seen Art even just fight into the Stone Gaze with a Dark Pact prepped up. In fact, he's going to go for a tower kill here, and, well, look at that weave. I don't think weave was necessary, but definitely speed up the process, and he'll make it out. But yeah, Art could just pounce. Oh, Beastmaster War is going to go in, and look at how quickly they're dropping here in Flame.
He's got stick charges. He will pop them. Still doesn't have enough for the ulti, but if he toggles to Intreds, he will. And now he has it anyway. Goresh getting last one to the tower, but the Grave again helping out here. Is it good enough? The Courier dies with 5.3k gold worth of items on it. What the hell was on that thing? In the meantime, the Wraith King ultimate will be popped. Alpha Ninja being pursued out by Ohio. Looks like he'll end up falling. 3 heroes dead. Classic CIS Dota's HR overextend. That was the Radiant Courier, was it?
Yeah, that was almost a finished BKB, a Blink Dagger.
Oh my god.
Who's that? Who's it? Whose is it?
The BKB for Doom and the Blink for the Rubik.
Yeah, okay.
That's a Rubik Blink is quite nice this game.
Well, I'm not sure if EHOME saw also what, like, if they knew that there is no more Blink coming for a long while, they could just...
I highly doubt.
Yeah, I don't
Someone
think so.
was like, oh, I wonder what's on this Courier. Let me just peruse its inventory.
But they want to fight. They're going to push for at least one tower. I think they could get a second one if they want, but they're going to stay back and play
the one thing with EHOME is because they have Lycan, you lose one fight, you are losing an objective on top of it.
Sure.
So I think fights that EHOME win are a bit more costly to HR than vice versa. But that said, Necro 3's out now. It's not a very fat Lycan, but we've seen these types of games, Lumi, where Lycan has a slow start, but because he just takes structures and objectives so fast when he wins fights, he catches up very easily.
In terms of, you were talking about an answer to the Slark, there is really no direct answer like a Hex, for example, or instant disable, but if Lycan gets fat enough, you could, in theory, man-fight the Slark, at least zone him out of the fight, and then try to win the fight then. Because right now, with no damage to the Lycan, the Slark gets to do whatever he wants. And I think
eventually
soon.
Slark would outcarry him, though. He's got Inner Beast, he has Grave backing him up. He also, at some point, will just be able to get a bunch of Essence Shift stacks and
in the
just
ultra
win
late
the
game,
direct fight.
in the ultra late game, yes. But right now, if you just meet in the river, 1v1 me, bro. I think Lycan wins, right?
Next, like, 10 to 20 minutes, it's Lycan who wins those fights. If you go 20, 30 minutes, then it's Slark who probably starts to come out on top. And that's without factoring in the Doom, which, for Goresh, he's very poor right now. Just an Ogre Club, the BKB complete, but on the Courier. Still nowhere near that Ags, Refresher Dream, though, assuming that's the direction he wants to go.
Actually, he would be top of the net worth if the item is not that in the Courier, right?
Yeah.
So
he's farming well relative to the other players in the game.
Well, maybe not, given the fact that he has Midas and Devour.
Right, for a Doom, he's not that fat. But, I mean, he is Doom, so he's still farmed.
You know, I'm beginning to line up more and more with HellRaisers late game. I mean, there is Deuce Lycan on the other team, but...
It's all physical damage against the Dazzle. Like, Dazzle is so good against these physical DPS lineups.
And then, you know, late game with Doom with Alpha Wolf, Aghanim Refresher, like you said, that's...
He still has the Stomp for now, but yeah, I think Alpha Wolf is definitely your creep you want. Maybe the Frost Armor creep?
No, you got Weave for that.
Yeah.
Weave is a solution to everything.
Ice Armor is really nice against Lycan as well.
That's true, that's true.
They're going to smoke here, EHOME.
Any thought on Inflame, if the game goes late enough, becoming a factor as well? He's got that Midas, so...
Well, Wraith King is the Doom counter, but I don't know if a 4-position Wraith King can be the Doom counter.
Well, if the Doom goes on him, I suppose. And these Dooms have been not the best, I want to say.
No, and partially because of ZYF's quick reactions, but this smoke from EHOME, they're going to show a hero mid, so I don't think it's that obvious right now. And they jump up the ramp. They're looking for the initiation here on Goresh.
Oh.
Blinken, not quick enough, though.
Okay.
And Roche still a couple minutes off. I think they're hoping if they get that kill that Roche will just have respawned, but it's not the case.
In terms of the map control, do you feel like one team is severely limiting the farm space of any team? Because this game is very slow. It could go late, and I think something like that matters quite a bit.
It seems like both teams are able to get out on the map and farm.
Like you would say, in theory, the team with bad is doing a better job, but it, like you said, it doesn't feel like that, right? It's just pretty even for the most part.
They're swinging around from the north. Your Slark looking.
There's that weave, and everybody gotta run. Lycan
get the hell away. He's gonna shapeshift and just races out of there. Run!
What is the uptime on weave? I want to know.
It's like over 50%, right?
Yeah, and that's the annoying part.
24 up, 16 down.
Like, you want to push as Lycan, and you get weave, and you're like, okay, we'll wait it out. And then you come back, you push for like 5 seconds, and then you get weave again.
And Flame going to get trapped here. Arch just doing so much work already. Going to pop the Wraith King ult with a zap.
Are they going to chase on that?
Deployed. Roche isn't even up yet, but they're getting caught in an awkward position here. That Wraith King ult's down for 160 seconds. Oh man, HR they're wishing the Roche is up. And they're just going to weave it. It's like they hit weave, and they feel like they put on bulletproof armor. They just run up any ramp. I'm Superman now.
Alright, Reddit, please make a how to play Dazzle guide. You know, this
Press R.
Decision trees. Is weave up? Yes, use it.
Is weave down? Wait 10 seconds.
Yeah. It's actually OP. I don't think you could purge it off with anything, right? Like
no, you could just X chop. Okay. Well, not purge it, but it's the only real solution, I guess, right?
I suppose. But, yeah. Both teams just farming. Oh, this is developing into a game that I love.
We have not had many of these longer, more deliberate games. It has been bloody messes of games in this tournament so far.
And that would make sense if you think that teams are getting better and better. Like, the team that gets the smallest edge will start to snowball.
Yeah, they crush you from there.
Would not give up the lead, but HR prone to make mistakes, and EHOME, they are playing a very slow and deliberate team, so would not surprise me if this game goes for at least 20 more minutes.
Well, I mean, you look at the heroes. Like a lot of these heroes want to go late, honestly. Even the supports for both teams are late game supports. The cores are pretty late game oriented. Maybe not hard carries outside of the Dusa, but all scaling well. This one, we could be in for the long haul. And ZYF, this is not a play from ahead kind of Lycan item. He's picked up a Sanj.
I imagine it's going to be a Heaven's Halberd, which honestly is not bad against, you know, your Beastmaster, Doom, Slark Tricore. In fact, I would not expect it's going to be the Slark that's running into the pit here.
It's just not that good against our stack, though, because everybody hits hard.
Yeah.
And you can't Heaven's Halberd everyone. You still have the evasion.
Yeah, that's kind of what he's getting for. And
but there's not like one here you can decide.
All right, the armor on the weave is available. Here comes a jump.
Can they get Dread off the bat? That'd be a great hero to start it with. Ohio blinks in, does not get off the lasso though. He's insta-roared by F Ninja, dealt with quickly. Goresh as well on the retreat out here. He's already popped the Doom Arts though, has not found a great target to latch into. And from the high ground, goddamn will leap in. He's found a little isolated cubby hole of his own to fight from F Ninja getting pursued though. They will bring down the Beastmaster. Now Arts in a bit of trouble. The Ice Blast gonna connect. That takes him out of the picture for a little while as Inflame runs around on the high ground as well. He's decided to be king of the mountain. 2 for 1 so far, but
the buybacks are coming out. They cannot allow this Lycan to get the Roshan and the Aegis. In fact, everyone's backing off. Arts, where's he in the fight? He's back into full health. He needs a pursuit. Actually, can HellRaiser just rinse and repeat and go back into the pit? Because they started this fight by going back in the pit. In fact, that's exactly what Arts do. He's like, you know what?
We're back.
In terms of the buyback being used, Batrider used one and Beastmaster used one. Now every ultimate is down and Deuce is out for the picture for at least, what was that, 30 more seconds? Yeah, why not? Just go back into the pit. You got weave back up, right? OP.
Ohio is ready to go though. Ice Blast gonna come in. This could be big. They start to leap out. They pull Goresh up onto the cliff and leave him there, but he's gonna just get 4-step back down. Nice try, my friend. And Lasso now down, goddamn, a little bit too low to stay in the pit. But now the Ice Blast wears off. They're going again. Flame Break, they desperately want to prevent HR from getting this Roshan so low. And Flame, is he going for the steal? No. They'll give away the Aegis to the Slark.
That's a huge blow to
And now
EHOME.
goddamn leaps up the hill. He wants to go in. He's going to toss.
Oh,
the Wraith came back.
I don't know
heroes stunning each other.
Oh, and he's going to go down to the wolf. No, 4-step to low ground and Grave to back him up. Meanwhile, BKB Doom, but he's actually being slowed down by Dusa. Stonegate's going to come out, but Slark, he's dark packing it. Nope. He dark packed and then got reapply Stonegates. Now he's going to right-click Wave Flame. Does he have reincarnation? He does not, and this Slark's going out of control. He has way too many essence stacks, and he's doing too much damage. Triple kill on Arts. He's looking for more, and Lycan for the building time in this game is running.
He's going to shatter, though, but
okay, he's got Aegis. Man, that Roshan fight was so huge for HellRaiser.
Just denying the Lycan the Aegis and trading evenly is a win, and that is more than an even trade for HR. I thought Inflame was going to try for a Roche steal. I really thought he was going to blink in there.
I think he should have. I mean, he's playing a support Wraith King, right? If you die, you die.
He's just that kind of player, man. He loves to go for those flashy plays, but it's starting to get out of control at this point. Arts is getting huge with Inner Beast. Does the Doom actually have an Alpha Wolf yet? Yeah, he does. So this is a super Slark. He's on steroids right now. He's been taking his extra protein supplements. He's ready to just start wrecking face.
Yeah, I mean, it's good to focus on the cores, and they are doing a lot for HellRaiser, but look over to the Dazzle. He's got a point booster. Oh. Hold your thought. A is gonna die.
Another easy kill for Arts as he just calmly skates out of the base.
Well,
Dark Pack was used, then there's no real more chase potential from here. So he'll survive, it looks like, as the defensive weave is applied. And now just bashing some wolves.
yeah. Batrider's kind of thinking about it. A little bit bait coming out from the Wraith King.
It's just so hard to go on the Slark. Lasso, you go. Oh, and, well, it's not hard for the Slark to go on you. As he will pop the Wraith King ultimate. Now Ohio getting doomed and chased back, so he can't protect that Wraith King, who's still being chased out by the Slark, and looks like he will end up being finished off. Arts collecting yet another kill. EHOME losing all control of this game, completely bottled up in their base, unable to initiate on Slark, unable to ignore him. And it's not like HR's late game is anything to sneeze at. They've got the Shivas, eventually Refresher, Doom to worry about. Dread will soon have that Aghanim Scepter, I imagine, for a Shadow Priest. And this is before Arts even completes Abyssal Blade, Butterfly, his next big items, I imagine.
Yeah, I think a reason why EHOME is doing so poorly, and the reason why HellRaisers is so far ahead, is that it feels like Ohio has never really gone off a really good lasso in team fights. He's gone off some great one as an initiate in ganks, but every time he blinks in, and a big example of that is during the Roshan fight, he just gets either roar or lifted. There's just way too many answers, and even if he gets off a good lasso, there's grave. So
you remember that there was the smoke gank towards the Radiant jungle where he blinks in, but he's just short on the blink and can't get the jump. Then the Roche pit where he blinks in, but it's not directly on top of a hero, so he can't insta-lasso. Then he gets roared and he dies. He just has not had great initiations. Now, it's partially because of how HR drafted. Rubik's great against Bat, and Beastmaster's pretty damn good against him as well, but I think it's also just Ohio not being quite as crisp as he needs to be on his jumps.
Yeah, and he really needs to turn the game around for him, because what you
Who else is going to do it?
Exactly. Like, Dusa's going to do her thing. She's going to just hit. But is she going to, kill the core? That's up to the Bat. Same thing with, the Blink Wraith King. He's going to just stun one. You have to be the initiate. You have to focus on the key target. For example, if you get Beastmaster and remove that aura, or if you get the Doom before he dooms, that's huge for the team.
Can HR even think about a high ground push here fairly soon?
I think against Dusa is hard, though.
But they are... Well, also against the AA, but fortunately no Ags on him. It looks like they want to. There's 5 heroes top. And it's more Necrobook Dota. They're going to get one on the Wraith King now.
Oh, man, this reminds me of that 5 Necrobook game. I don't think we'll develop into that kind of game, but you know what? If you look at Batrider, he's got a Staff of Wizardry.
Necrobook Dota?
I think so. I mean, Yules... Would you get Yules, though? Do you need Yules?
Yeah, what do you Yules here? Yeah.
I'm not sure. Maybe you just run away quicker. Yang. Oh, looks like Lasso's going to come out here, and that Rubik. He gets Grave, my goodness.
Looks like he's still going down, but nonetheless, goddamn, living a long time now. The chase comes, and they try to turn this one the other way. As Inflame engages, they end up getting 2. Both supports taken down. It cost them the Wraith King, who's really more of a semi-carry, or at least EHOME hoping he will be. So a win there for EHOME. Definitely any even trade is good, given they're behind, and a bit more than an even trade there. But like Tony Slark, man, 5.3k gold. Abyssal if he wants it. MKB if he chooses. Big items en route. Yeah,
and I think right now we are approaching that stage of the game where there is no answer to Slark, right? Something that you alluded to earlier. Dusa's not going to cut it directly. Lycan's not going to cut it directly. Abyssal's already done. So, yeah, this is Art's game for the next 5 to 10 minutes until Dusa gets some really big damage.
The thing is, if EHOME have just one farm carry, they lose because they're up against Doom Beastmaster.
Right.
Like, that one hero will be roared, they'll be doomed, they'll be taken out of the fight, and EHOME don't have a great defensive support to bail him out.
Well,
so even having to farm Dusa, I feel, is not good enough.
The thing is, Lycan, in theory, is that second carry, but he hasn't been building towards that, right? We talked about the Heaven's Halberd that he's going towards too, so it's not going to be that big fat Lycan with things like AC.
It's not like it's not like your Vlad's Necro, straight AC, straight Abyssal or Heart, like the big hitter items. These are kind of the value bargain buster purchases.
He still hits pretty hard, and that is a Yule Scepter on the Batrider, which
it's also just it's a hard game for Lycan to run in.
Again,
just because of the roar, like he is the ideal roar target, even more than the Dusa, I would say.
Oh, Lycan, get out of there! The blink or the Force Staff lift, and look at the stuns. He's dead. Does he have buyback? But they actually do get a return initiation. They're gonna throw everything on the Doom. He's gonna get
the Graves again. Okay. He's gonna be held in place, and Lycan has no buyback right now. Mushi applying that Stone Gaze. They do kill off the Doom without getting off his ultimate, but still charging forward is Arts. One small leap for Arts, a big step forward for HR Kind. They haven't killed off Mushi just yet, though. Now forced to retreat a bit. Goddamn on the run. Perhaps this is the overextension that EHOME have been desperately praying for. They get 2 shatters. They're looking for the dread kill. It's a disaster 3.
Oh,
maybe
can't
4
overchase.
gonna fall.
Art is back right now. He's right-clicking. The Yule Scepter's going to go up. The Dread. Oh, no. The Grave's going to go down, but there's somebody. That's Reincarnation. It's not Aegis. Art's on the run here. He's got Leap. He will leap away, get stunned on the high ground.
Oh,
but
he
he picks up 1. Thanks for the feed. I'm coming for more while running.
Ohio, what are you doing?
Art is unkillable. He's got the gem. He could actually go back in if he wants. Grabs it.
What was that?
Okay, he's going to go back in.
Ohio, please.
I mean, they thought they got the kill because, you know, you want to blink forward.
It's a Slark. Like, they don't... How are you... Of course he's going to just Dark Pact anything you throw at him and...
Oh, here he goes. Slark, jump. Oh, I'm not going to pass.
He's got the Abyssal in 3 seconds.
He's out of mana, though. That's a big concern.
Mushi wants to bait him in. If he came in right there with the Ice Blast, then could have been a kill. I'm
not sure. Like, Art tanked essentially everybody while right-clicking Adusa and still, like, didn't even come close to dying. So...
Is Roshan up by any chance? How long do we have here? Oh, it could respawn momentarily.
Oh, man, that's so unlucky for EHOME, because if it respawns now, they could just take it. But, okay, well. I think HellRaiser needs to think twice before making another play like that, because if Art had died there...
That was such an aggressive dive. Slark is diving the tier 4. He uses his ult offensively to dive the tier 4, and a Medusa, who had just popped Stone Gaze, had full HP and mana. That's very tough, and uh-oh, EHOME... This could be a horrible overextension.
Ooh, everybody blink away. The Roar's going to go on Yang. The Doom's going to go on him as well, but can he run away? No, he's taking way too much damage. Inflame says, get out of here, but he actually gets lifted, so TP gets canceled. Reincarnate's going to come on, but he's going to die because of, well, everything's going to hit on him.
Because of everything.
Yeah. And
by the way, Lumi, they stole something big here. That's how. Now on the Radiant side, they've got Alpha Wolf, Howl, Beastmaster, Inner Beast.
That might look innocuous, but it's actually one of the best steals in this game.
Even with the Dazzle as well. This is some serious physical damage.
I think the only spell...
And speaking of Roshan luck, you mentioned unlucky for EHOME, Rosh wasn't up. Rosh is up right away. That's like an 8-minute respawn.
Is there any buybacks? Because you cannot give
no buybacks.
Aegis to Arts.
Well, he's getting it. This is a freebie.
So... Are they going to give it to Doom, though? Maybe they're saying, man, Arts is so tanky. Doom's got an open slot right now. They're thinking about it. Is this Agent Send Cheese, or is this the second one? I think it's only the second one.
No, it is Cheese.
Okay. So, Aegis goes to Slark, and Cheese, I imagine, goes to Doom, yeah.
They are pushing out the lanes, at the very least. Ohio gets the top lane pushed in, the mid lane's at the tier 2, but nothing beyond that.
Okay, so thinking about how to win this game if you're HR.
Don't dive the tier 4s. Take buildings.
Right, so if you're Slark, right, you just walk up the hill, hit the tier 3, go back, and regen. Is that what you just do for the next 5 minutes with the Aegis backup?
And if they go on you, maybe they drag you towards the tier 4, but you still have Aegis, you have Grave.
Yeah.
The only reason that he's even come close to dying is because he's using all his defensive abilities offensively to dive heroes at tier 4s.
Sometimes you gotta just get kills, you know?
He may do that and still get the kills, but if they want to play this safe, they really could just siege it.
This is CIS, though. Anything could happen, though. Like, that dive could just happen again. They might think, man, we got
I think that's honestly, I feel like that's the getaway. That's the getaway car for EHOME to bail themselves out of this situation. Is they've seen HR like to dive, try and bait them into a dive.
Oh, also, let's talk about the Aghanims on Dazzle. I think we briefly mentioned it yesterday in terms of what it does, but it basically, it's the same tick of Weave in terms of duration, but it makes it more powerful in that duration. So you get more negative armor overall, or more plus armor for your team.
And it's a bigger radius as well.
It's like, what, 2 screens in terms of the cast range as well? It's huge.
Yeah, you got to zoom out quite a bit even to see it. Like, look at this.
Yeah.
This is crazy.
Oh, double damage, Arts. Dusa. Well, Dusa could just ult and purge that one off, but... Okay.
They are smoked here for EHOME, swinging towards mid, but do they really want to go on HR with Aegis Cheese, as beefy as they are?
I don't know about the smoke initiation.
By the way, there's a Beastmaster Hawk, and it's in the Radiant jungle, so it's about to scout EHOME. This could be a disaster for them.
The TP and BOT is looking. The Blink Roar's going to come out. Dusa turning her. Oh, can she make it out? The Roar's going to come up, but everyone's Stone Gaze. Not anymore. Art's coming in. He gets forced that back out. TP out. But look at the Abyssal. It's going to cancel it, and Mushi is just dead within seconds. Batrider needs to run. He blinks. He TPs. He's out of there. The question is, will they get pushed down now? And does Dusa buyback?
She does, but... Did you see how fast that Dusa died? Oh my goodness. Like, they used Doom. They didn't even need the Doom. She was dead almost instantly. The Mana Burn is ruining her. The Slark is hitting like a truck, and the evasion is useless. Already the MKB complete, as you mentioned. This looks like it. If HR just focus on objectives, this should be at least 1, if not 2 lanes of racks.
And Mushi's got to buy back now.
I mean, he buys back. Maybe they back off if they want to play it safe, but I mean, this is HR we're talking about. They're not going to play.
They got Aegis and Cheese. They don't back off. And here comes a defensive. We no buyback in sight just yet for EHOME.
Just look at the Slarks.
Oh, no.
In flame. Insta-gib. Okay. Look at the Slark's armor continue to tick up. Now he's up to 31 and rising as the fight really begins to break up. He lays into ZYF, who is forced to run away. That ain't a scary wolf anymore.
That dive is happening. Deuce's bought back, and so far they defend.
They do manage to keep goddamn alive here for the time being. He survives, but only for a time. Finally falls. They are forced back in the end. HR now racing backwards. They do preserve their Aegis. The cheese was used. I think the Doom might have passed it to someone. I'm not sure.
He gave it to the Rubik.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure.
If that was worth it, to be honest. Well, it does save him.
I'm not sure about this chase either, because Art could just turn around and kill you. He's gonna use himself.
This time he has teammates coming though. The whole team is here. Doesn't matter.
They are in theory, yes, coming, but by the time they have came, he is
dead. Had a lot of those plays.
Why are they chasing? Oh no! In fact, if Dusa dies here, that's gonna be a death without buyback. Look at that Lycan. He's not there anymore. Art's just killing everybody. You do not chase.
All aboard the feed train. 3 dead. Art's racing back the other direction, trying to hunt down DDC. 4 step backwards. Art's out of mana right now. Not sure if he can get in range. Goresh also low on mana, but he can blink in.
Yeah,
he gets off a little bit of a body block. Needs more. They need just 1 smack from Arts, and this is a kill.
Slark is
He's so close. The wolves are coming in. They're chasing all the way back the other direction.
Got it. All right, but they still got 60 seconds without Dusa being here, and I just don't see EHOME even having a chance to defend the high ground. I have no idea why they chased out, because if they didn't chase out, Aegis would have timed out by that time, and really they wouldn't have to deal with it. I don't think HR would have pushed without the 2 supports, because we keep mentioning how important Dazzle is. Ice Blast, I don't think that's going to take him down.
Yeah, even if it does, he's got the Aegis. In fact, it almost is a good thing for Arts if that gets popped. I think he wants it to, even. Oh.
Timed out?
No, just pop.
Okay.
That was close. He had like 20, 30 seconds left.
All right, well. Yeah, I mean, essentially, EHOME had defended, but they just wanted more. And in their defense, maybe defending is not enough, right? Because Redusa had to buy out, so her item progression was not going to get any better. So you just need to chase for kills, and Webus is pointing out that our Slark is 18-0. This is every pub stream.
It is a lot of it down to the draft. They did not draft a lineup meant to shut down a Slark. Now, what they did draft was a lineup that's meant to just get the bat blink, start taking Roche, and then keep on finding pickoffs and taking towers. They didn't need to worry about a fat Slark if their lineup went the way it was supposed to, but really bad Roche fights, trying too hard to force it, good counter initiations by HR, and EHOME just with a lot of sloppy plays this game. Ohio's had far too many overextensions. When especially this draft, like as we've been talking about, he's really the key hero, and he has just not been getting it done.
Yeah, and the Necro books are starting to stack up for EHOME, which, because we had so many fights, we cannot forget that every time you kill those Necro minions, it gives what, 200 gold on the Necro 3?
Yeah.
So it's adding up for HR. Just amongst all the other things, it's the reason why they're leading so much.
He's 10k up on a Dusa and a Lycan. That's pretty insane.
Well, he's also got 18-0. So.
Yeah, that doesn't hurt.
All right, here comes HR trying to... Is it just me?
They're going in now. Looking for the initiation here. Mushi doomed and forced back. He does get off a nice stone gaze. Do they try to fight in while he's doomed? They can't. Ohio takes a level death. He instantly loses half his health, and he's backing off now. HR, now they know the stone gaze is down. They can leap in for a bit more. Goddamn, can't get the opening. Just focus on buildings, HR. Stop diving for kills. You can taste this game. It's within your grasp to take it as they continue their siege. Now the Slark working on range racks. A little bit more objective gaming. They will get Goresh lassoed, but the turn comes from Arts leaping in onto ZYF, continues to lay into the Lycan. We'll deal with him, finishing him off. Now the Graved Goresh living for ages and a day as goddamn surges forward. Mushi's going to get caught out, isolated, and dealt with. This is before the Slark even completes his butterfly, but now the buyback stream out as EHOME desperately try to hold the line. Can they get anything out of these buybacks? Doesn't look like much. Perhaps the Rubik will die. That's not good enough.
That's 2 buyback use just to get a Rubik. The range racks is going down. Here comes Arts again because he's back to full health. 1 hit, half of Inflame's health. Man, they don't even need this kills. If they want to just get the racks, they can.
No, they want kills, Lumi. Who are you kidding, Bubba? Now Arts on his EYF. Oh. He's overextended. Oh. He doesn't have the butterflies.
You don't need the kills.
Stop.
Just get the building.
Don't do it.
Arts like getting out. All right, he's getting regen because Slark OP. He's going to come back in, and here comes Ohio getting lifted again.
Dazzle now. EHOME I think at least they're going to rebuff HR. Are they going back in? You betcha. They're thinking about it.
But Art's back to full health, and
buy your freaking butterfly, man, if you're going to keep on doing this.
All right, he's going to go back in. Finally, he sees a building amongst the heroes.
They have a glyph, apparently.
Okay. Well, I mean, I don't think the glyph's going to do anything. Yeah, there you go. The Rax is going to go down. Man. There is a Basher now on Wraith King. I'm not sure how much that matters, but it's a way to deal, in theory, deal with that Slark.
Have you seen how fast
technically, that's a way to deal with Slark. Who knows where?
If you throw 4 items on top of that Basher, then yeah, I would agree. All
right, here's the thing though. Like, this is a Dusa game. Is 1 Rax down meaning anything?
Yeah, because HR's lineup is just looking invincible. As long as they don't, even when they are trying their best to feed and throw.
And Dusa also doesn't have that kind of damage where she could 1-shot the wave or 2-shot the wave. Like, she's not holding a Divine, for example. So these wave is starting to.
She's really actually light on damage. Manta, Scotty, and Evasion.
Yeah, she's going to be
48 minutes. Mushi has nothing. ZYF has nothing. And Beastmaster is now getting bigger than them. He's picked up an AC. Yeah, I'm not seeing it, Lumi.
Yeah,
I think this takes 2 or 3 colossal throws from HR for it to turn around. Now, I'm not saying they won't happen.
It definitely
can happen. They have to be colossal.
Right. Also, EHOME could play the split pushing game because what we saw at least before the last big fight was EHOME desperately trying to push out the side waves to delay that push. And in theory, if you delay long enough, where Mushi could finish your butterfly and then another damage item.
But Beastmaster and Doom both have blink BOT, so it's very hard to get away with Ret. Like, you can push the wave to the base, but actually sieging the base, that's a bit trickier.
No,
and especially with the Hawk.
Yeah, Hawk BOT is where's that?
They've used it. They haven't used it a ton this game, but the times they have been game-changing.
Well, it looks like Arts is going to go back into the Roshan pit, and I think this one will not be contested. EHOME is just too far behind to make that play.
How quickly the Rosh drops. This is with 0 Essence Shift stacks. He's still just doing insane damage.
The sad part about this game is every time a pub sees a replay like this where the Slark goes ham, there's like 10 more Slark players being born in pubs. It's just
That's a good thing.
Is it?
Because then you get to feast off them.
Well.
And if they're on your team, you just pick the Slark first.
Okay. I guess I'm not a Slark picker.
I like Slark. He's fun.
Yeah, he's a fun hero to watch, especially when you're in a game like this. He gets to low health and then he just runs back for 5 seconds and he comes back in.
I still think like the more this game goes on, the more it's like Dazzle is just unbelievably good for HR.
He's been good for
He's a good hero in general, but for them, like, Arts would have died like 6 or 7 times.
Here comes Ohio trying to initiate, but that weave sees everything. Arts
going to get stunned up already. This is about the worst way to start the fight for Impossible. He's forced back. Ooh. They will bring down the Beastmaster.
That's a quick kill. In fact, Goddamn's going to go down as well. Does he have the Ghost Scepter? He will Ghost, but he's going to get stunned, and Goddamn is dead. 2 kills so far, and they're chasing for more Dread. Zabal, run! And, well, he can't run because he's dead. That's
they have 0 buybacks. None of these heroes have buyback. Can EHOME actually get something done? It's a minute.
No. You get 3 kills and you farm. That's their only way to win, right?
Lumi, you're just praying for one of those 100-minute games.
It's getting
rubbing your voodoo ball right now.
Are we at 50 yet? I can't see the number.
Yeah,
we're 50.
50
All right.
We're just getting warmed up. We're stretching our legs out, getting loose. Yeah, the one thing is Slark doesn't have Shadow Blade, so it does affect because he dropped it for the Aegis. And it affects a little bit the way you initiate. Like, he uses the ult to run in there, whereas generally you would use the Shadow Blade to initiate, then save the ult for later on. Currently being held by his Packmaster. Goddamn.
Would you make an argument that he doesn't need the Aegis?
I think you keep on going here if you're EHOME. They're gonna
at least
think about it.
At least force out the buybacks, right? No buybacks. Exactly.
But they don't.
You go up to the high grounds. There's no buybacks. Like, wait, can we take a tier 3?
Yeah,
maybe that's too greedy.
I think they're worried they do that and then they get caught without their own buybacks, which I don't even think they have right now.
I think the timers. I think Dusa has her timer back now with the buyback.
Yeah, but no Lycan, no AA, no Rubik. So they die back there on 2 or 3, and also, it may cost them the game.
I think if Dusa buybacks now, the game is just over.
The good news is Arts is almost out of item slots. The one big item he can get besides
that's like the thinnest silver line. He's like, hey guys, he's 6-slotted. No more.
Right though.
But in theory, though, if Slark keeps hitting in the fight...
The 7th item, Refresher, is your big late game Slark item. You get that, you got double Abyssal, double ulti.
That's so good.
A bit of an update.
No one can hear you, Bruno.
Yeah. Hello. A little bit of an update. Navi versus Sidek is being played right now. Navi got Mega Creeps versus Sidek. Sidek has been holding up for about 5 minutes. But
Where-
they just
where
called
can-
the GG.
Oh, they just called the GG.
They
okay.
just called the GG. That was on the Dota cinema.
So Navi got a win.
got a win against CDEC.
See? I said Dendy. Why not? No jet lag.
All right.
And that was the fourth
And,
game.
and Ray with newbie?
Yeah, destroyed him. Like 32 minutes.
What?
30-minute game.
All right, guys.
Wow.
Back to the game that matters.
Yeah, you can check those
Yeah.
streams out, twitch.tv/team/DAC2015, but it's time for the game.
Okay, so if HR doesn't win this game, is it considered as a throw?
Yeah. Definitely a throw.
All right, I just want to prep that out there because I could sort of see that happening.
Do you have some zingers prepared, Lumi, just in case?
No, my zingers are
Your
like
flamethrower is stocked up and ready to go? We'll
One
see.
does
It
not-
depends on the nature of
Yeah,
the throw.
exactly. The nature of the throw matters. And every time I read HR, I don't think HellRaiser. I think Human Resources for whatever reason. But that's like useless information.
Human resources versus public relations.
Ohio finds a Beastmaster, and Beastmaster, he is done. And the fight's gonna break out. Oh, look at goddamn, he's not there anymore. Where's Arts in the fight?
He's in the middle of everybody, but now they can focus their attention on at once. There's 4 dead. It just popped. They're gonna get Dread. It might be the entire squad going down. Can the Slark Superman his way to victory? No.
He's trying to run.
He's in trouble now. He's surrounded a bit. He's gonna cold feet. Oh, he dark pecks just in the nick of time, but still so low. He falls. It's an ultra kill for CYF. The throws are alive and well. And EHOME. BOT on top. Can they do it?
I'm not sure if that's a throw. We'll debate whether that's a throw or not. But let's remember who started that fight. It was Ohio. He always found the right target. Remember how we said that he needs to do that? Well, he did it twice against Beastmaster. I think once against Doom. And
It's
that's
still
how-
a throw because all those fights bottom lane too.
Sure, fine, but let's not take it away. Ohio is the one that's carrying the team back.
That was great initiation, and he needed to step up because he wasn't getting them until now.
And he's stepping up. They got a tier 3. I don't think they win the game off of this, but a sign of life for EHOME. Let's check on Dusa items because that matters. She's been dying nonstop, but well, I'm not sure what she's trying to build.
Still trying to build the butterfly, I guess.
No, she's got 2 javelins, I think, on the courier. So just a casual evasion.
Yeah, I mean, completing your butterfly with Slark as MKB, maybe not the best.
And I think she's just forgotten her buyback just now. She does not have buyback.
Honestly, I'm not sure they should have given Slark the Aegis. Just look at the way
Exactly,
the
yeah.
gone.
I don't think Slark needs
I think the
Aegis.
Shadow Blade was much more useful than the Aegis.
Well,
which he has now, but that last fight, it changes the way he can take the fight. Like, he can go in with one, reserve the other to get out. This time he didn't have that option.
are we back to an even game or no? Who still has the advantage?
It's hard to say.
Oh, wow, that's a new game. That's not
That's an interesting graph. Oh my. That's the crazy thing about this version. It just takes one really bad team fight.
Oh, I think it was like 2 bad team fight, right?
Well, one that like dipped it a little bit.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a colossal swing.
Also, does the Skeleton King, I mean Rave King, I mean let's be real.
His
Skeleton
Highness,
King?
let's get the name right, please.
Does he have the Abyssal yet?
Yeah, he's got Abyssal.
Alright,
He's actually got 2.3k gold. And the thing is, Wraith King gets to a point where he becomes a real issue for HR because that's the one here they don't
I
have
think
good
he's
solutions.
already a real issue, yeah.
They don't have good solutions for him. Like, they can't Doom him. They still don't have Refresher on Doom, actually, which is quite late for 56 minutes. The Wraith King's going to become a problem because he's not the hero you can focus, but he will get to a point where you can no longer ignore him either. This one is not over yet, Lumi.
So if we go ultra late game,
Like 80, 90 minutes.
like maybe 20 more minutes beyond this. Let's say that HellRaiser tries to push 3 more times and find out that you just can't break the high ground because they keep losing fight. Rave King's getting too strong, Lycan's getting too strong, Dusa's getting too strong. Then they have to start defending, right? Is there some ultra late game for them that they could look towards to? Maybe start hexing on your supports? Or is that just not going to happen?
I just don't know where they're going to get the farm. They're up against Batrider. It's very dangerous. BOT's Batrider, going off on your own is with the AA especially, it's a recipe to feed. I mean, just looking at their current gold, it's maybe they each get 1 more item this game if it goes 20 minutes. And maybe that item is a hex.
Well, it seems like HellRaiser is not banging against a T3 anymore. Do you wait for the next Roche? Is that the solution?
It is really hard to break the base against Batrider. So yeah, I think you want that Aegis cheese at this point. This is that old story of Chinese Dota. You'd see, like, you go back to even LGD versus IG, teams trying to break the base. IG was down so much. I think it was game 3 or 4. Like,
oh, I remember that game.
It was like 80 minutes. They went bottom lane with a 20k gold lead like 5 times, and every time the Bat Rider gets a jump, gets a pick, and they can't push anymore.
Well, was that the game where Chuan bought a Midas like 80 minutes in because he was so mad? He was playing Treant that game.
No, that was a game of TI that they lost pretty, like, decisively. This was the G League finals, but LGDN's first big event.
Okay.
And they actually ended up losing
got
that
second
game.
that one, right?
Yeah, IG ended up winning the game.
Okay.
But I don't know, man. It is that old story, though. Breaking the base against Batman is never easy. But I still think HR have to look at this game, and obviously they still try to win, but they could have just taken a clean bottom racks, gotten out easily way earlier than this.
Oh. Blinks for Lycan, or not Lycan, Wraith King. What do you think about HellRaiser farming a Lincoln Sphere? Because everything goes through the Bat, right? Now, there is multiple ways to break the Lincoln. If you're the Bat Rider, you have Blink Yules, you have Blink Forestaff, and you could still, in theory, get the lasso off, but anything to make it more difficult for the Bat Rider.
But it's like, who do you throw the Lincoln Sphere on? Because Beastmaster's the one they've been jumping, but I don't really look at HR and say, like, Beastmaster's the one you need to jump. I think if you get any of these heroes, it's really problematic. Outside of Rubik, I'd say he's probably the least important. But you get Dazzle, that's really bad. You get Beastmaster, that's really bad. Slark, you probably don't bother trying to go on. And Doom, also very problematic.
Somebody pick up the cheese, please. Okay.
Little monster.
All right.
Delicious.
This is the 5th Roshan of the game. Is that correct? Yeah. So we're looking at double Abyssal Blade on EHOME now. 1 on the Lycan, 1 on the Wraith King, and Wraith King has a blink to boost that one up. I think EHOME might just do it, but, you know, late game Dota, who knows what's going to happen.
As it got, like, ultra late game, I guess they're the team with the Tricore and the really good supporting cast in the form of the Bat Rider H Apparition.
Right.
Like, we were talking about HR heavy late game for, like, what, 35 minutes until 65 to 70 minutes.
I said in the draft that EHOME had better late.
Well, I don't think the game should approach here.
It depends on your definition of late game, right? How often do we get to 60 minutes?
And also,
probably less than 1% of games.
The late game that LD was mentioning hasn't been reached by HR yet. They haven't got double Dooms.
Yeah, where's the refresher?
Yeah, he's got 6K. He's saving buyback.
At this point, he has to, saving for buyback is understandable.
All right, sell that Midas. Okay. Here is a refresher
it's
and
still
the buyback.
A very late refresher.
Here's the thing, though. Like, who do you Doom that's really useful?
Well, if you get it off on Lycan before he ulties, that's obviously very valuable.
That's so hard to do.
Medusa, it's only good to really Doom her if she doesn't already have
Oh, Lincolns! I think this is the answer. I really think so. So if you...
But who are they throwing it on? Beastmaster?
No. You don't need to throw it on. You get one, Beastmaster gets one. And then you push. Because they honestly can't initiate on the Slark, right? Because he's just way too hard to kill. And then they've been going on either the Doom or the Beastmaster. And suddenly you remove the option for either. I mean, again, you can break the Lincoln, so it's not a foolproof plan, but it is a plan.
It definitely helps. You're right. It could be the recipe for a comeback. But Ohio could be the engine to push through the turnaround for EHOME. They will TP back to the base for a moment. It looks like Mushi's finally ready to pick up that next item. MKB complete. Yeah. It's a completed butterfly now on him.
And this is more so just for like the stats of attack speed and not so much for the evasion, right? Because if Slark is going on him...
Gives you a lot of armor, too.
Yeah. And the Flutter, let's not forget.
I guess you might as always be using it, right?
Well, I mean...
Who else is going to be right-clicking you?
I mean, in theory, with all the auras, right? Everybody does some damage with the weave and...
But it just looks so cool, man. Medusa should, like, sprout wings and flap around.
Okay.
You're not a fan.
No. I'm just not a fan of Medusa in general, but...
She's a pretty hideous beast.
All right, Ohio...
But Burning plays her.
That is true. That is true. Are they thinking about pushing up at a high ground? I mean, another way for HR to play this game is turn it to a different angle. You have double Blink. You have double TP with Hawk. Maybe you just go for a pickoff, but EHOME is just playing...
EHOME's 5-man.
Yeah, they're clustered.
They are not going off on their own.
All right.
Even though they could with the
high ground push. Here we go, EHOME. Going for the win, or at least just for the tier 3.
This is the first time they've even seen this HR base.
No.
The top lane in
They've seen it earlier, remember? They took the T2. I was like, do you go for the push here? But, all right, here comes the weave.
But they've committed nothing for this. And, oh, by the way, there's an MKB up on your Wraith King now. He is a hitter, too. They're trying to jump in with Goresh, though. He's coming from the south. He gets off the Doom on ZYF. Then he goes in with the Shiva's Guard. He will force him back and chases onwards. But in the meantime, Mushi is still against the back lines of HR, keeping them off the fight. Can they do it alone? It looks like the Doom's going for naught. And now Arts engages, but he gets abyssaled. Crit in the face by Inflame. The secret hero brings him down. And now HR, this game crumbling, falling away from them. They'll buy back on the Slark, but EHOME forced to buy back as well on their Lycan, who did end up falling in the end.
Do you go for it if you're EHOME? You just like port Lycan in and just go?
There's no Doom right now.
Yeah, they are going to go for it right now. In fact, here comes the siege on the range racks. They're going to throw everything on Mushi, Weave included, but where's that Slark? Slark is the biggest damage dealer. He is not so invincible anymore. I think that was his first death of the game. No, second. He died earlier.
They're rotating top, Lumi. They're going for it.
Oh.
Mushi up on the high ground now. Look how quickly the illusion shred the creep wave.
God.
And he starts to lay into buildings. They have to engage on him. He's farming the catapults as well during this time. And now a level death out. He is running low on mana, but he still holds the Aegis. And look how far back they sit behind Mushi. You have to go and do so. There is no chance in hell you get onto those 4 heroes behind him.
They got the racks.
But they get the melee racks and they get out. EHOME just a bit more patient and deliberate in their high ground breaches, whereas HR...
Uh-oh. TP cancel? Anything?
The Hawk shenanigans. But
why not?
Maybe they only get the Rubik. They got to get something better than that. The double BOT in onto DDC. They go with the level death. They'll get the H apparition. It's a nice play, but you really need someone bigger.
Yeah, they needed to either get Lycan or Dusa. Wraith King, they had a lift on him. I'm not sure why they didn't. That was... I'm not sure it was maybe on cooldown up to that point. Okay. Well...
I do think we're seeing a bit the difference in experience for these teams. Where
I mean,
EHOME, when they go for high ground, they just focus on objectives. HR, headlong rushing for kills.
Yeah, and also this is the second game where EHOME had, you could argue, an amazing comeback, right? Because the other one they did it against Cloud9.
Yeah.
So,
but it's not over yet. HR are going, and it seems now is the time for them. Perhaps just wanting to force out that AA buyback, which is he has if needed. Tinkbot chilling.
That Tinkbot looks like a Protoss. What's that thing that you beam things thing?
Yeah, the Observer.
No, not the Observer. The porting thing that you could beam things.
Mothership?
No, not the Mothership core. The Warp Prism. He was like spinning and there's a light under him. Alright, irrelevant information.
Go home,
again.
Lemmy, you're drunk.
Okay. Look, Warp Prism!
That doesn't look like a Warp Prism.
He was spinning!
It's glowing and blue, it's spinning, so it's a Warp Prism.
Okay. Get some.
You're upsetting everyone.
Get some Dragoons under here.
You're making everyone in the studio very angry right now,
Okay.
Lemmy.
At least I'm not talking about Flash and, you know, all these strong League mechanics. Alright, we can stop looking at it now. Thank you.
No, keep on looking at it. Hey guys, look, it's a Warp Prism. With a jetpack.
Alright.
I'm sorry, Lemmy.
Oh, Deuce has crits now. So if we check buyback on EHOME, we should see everybody in theory have buyback.
Except like...
Okay, Lycan had no timer, so yeah, everybody that can have buyback will have buyback. Yeah, like you said, EHOME's just a more experienced team, and...
That said, even if they go on to win this game, EHOME have to just feel like they're dodging bullets right now.
They are. But I mean, in group stage, you don't care how you get the W's, you just care about the W's, right?
Yeah.
And for HellRaiser, it's... Again, they could look at themselves and be like, we beat Secret. And for like 10 minutes they did. And in this game, it's like, we beat EHOME. We just gotta...
That's some delusional thinking right
I mean,
there.
no, they actually outskilled both of these teams and could have taken the game away, but they just never finished.
Yeah.
So, I don't know.
I still think they have a chance. With Doom, Beastmaster, Slark, like, these heroes can just instantly get kills. But
can they kill Dusa, Lycan, and Wraith King twice? And Wraith King 3 times?
If EHOME,
I don't think so.
If EHOME 5-man, it's very difficult. If they go off on their own, it's possible, but the thing is EHOME's not doing that. They are sticking together. And this is where Wraith King gets very scary. We have not talked at all about it, but
yeah,
not just having Reincarnation versus Doom, but also having the 1-minute cooldown ultimate. And at this point, he's got enough mana that the mana burn is no longer impactful. He will get that ult off.
So what do you think his next item is? If the game even lasts
They already
long?
have an AC, right? Yeah, they have AC.
What if he gets
Maybe
a refresh orb?
No, I don't. I
Is
think
that
you
like
get
just
more,
going too
I think
ham?
you get like more damage. Maybe a satanic. Oh, well, I guess he's already some like.
Oh, he's left alone by himself. Can they kill him twice? Well, they kill him one time very quickly. The BOTs are coming in. Like you said, they need him to be left alone, and he is left alone. A buyback will have to be forced out. There you go.
I mean, they've been 5-man all game, but lapse in concentration there by EHOME. This may force out the buyback. 90 seconds.
But they got to defend mid, though. The waves are streaming in, and looks like Dazzle will TP for that. But Dazzle's not exactly the best support.
That heal is just so puny at this stage of the game. He didn't even dent the melee creeps.
Yeah, unfortunately, because the mid wave is so pushed that even if you got the kill, you really need to force out the buyback to really make a real dent, right? And they couldn't. So,
well, actually, I'm trying to think what else the Wraith King could really go for.
I mean, does he need anything?
He doesn't need anything. That's the thing. Like anything he gets would be a pure luxury item.
Right. So I think something like a Lincoln Sphere for your Dusa.
A Hex would not be bad for this team either.
Okay.
Just because I'm not sure who else will build it. He could go more right click. He could tank up a bit.
Hear me out on this, LD.
Mm-hmm.
You get a Bloodstone, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you heal your team, and then reincarnate and then refresh. And then you just win the game. Yeah, he doesn't need any items, and he's already good. But one can dream.
I'm not sure.
Yeah,
the 68-minute Bloodstone? How many charges is he going to get?
It doesn't matter, man. You use it for the instant Sudoku.
Yeah. At this point, the heal isn't even that great, though. Look at their HP pools.
Yeah, I just threw
You've
that out.
got 2,500 health on the Medusa.
I threw that out there as a joke, okay? So just calm down.
I don't know. Sometimes I don't know with you.
Okay, Arts. You know, he was the oh, this is where you constantly check for rune. By the way, I think any game that you're going past 60 minutes, and if you have any resemblance of map control, your support should be taking every single bounty rune. Because at this point, it's upwards of 200 gold? I'm not sure if it's exactly 200 yet, but it's close to it, right? At least 180 or whatnot. And your carries should be buying every observer ward and whatnot, because your supports at this point in the game has the biggest item growth and impact. If you get a Hex on your Dazzle, for example, right now, it's huge. But hold that thought, because the fight's going to break up. Oh my god, why'd you let her do that? Oh, no. She just got a double damage. Oh, Ohio cannot get the initiate off, and Ohio's taking a ton of damage. And he's still alive. Yule Scepter, he is going to get brought down. On the back line, though, the supports are dead. Doom is dead. They're chasing for more. How much are they going to get?
He used the lasso. I believe it got Lakens. And then Rubik even stole the lasso. Like, you can't really ask for better. But in the end, they still lose the Doom, lose the Dazzle, and Dazzle forced to buy back.
Did they not see that double damage?
They had vision.
Okay. Yeah, I think at this point in the game, rune control is huge. Imagine if there's a double damage. It mattered much more for Dusa than HellRaiser, but, you know, if, let's say, the Slark had a double damage, that would be pretty big.
Everybody's pretty much out of item slots as far as these cores go.
Yeah, and that goes back to my point of supports needing to take the bounty rune, because every gold they get is huge.
I can't believe DDC does not have an egg.
Oh, he's BOTing right now. Massive BOT. They want to go for Inflame, but that's multiple lives. They get one, and Bat Rider's in again, and they are going to try to burst him down. They're taking him down very quickly thanks to Arts. He's going to Yule Scepter again, but here comes
Mushi, though. Art's in trouble. He gets stunned. He gets lassoed. He's going to go down. He bought a Refresher Orb. He still has buyback, but I don't know if it's going to matter, as they will bring him down. 3 heroes dead, only one with buyback. EHOME close to completing the comeback. Rubik, he's stolen. The shapeshift scatters away, but where are you going? They're coming for your house.
All right, buyback from Arts.
Lycan's going to go ahead and buy a Blink Dagger now, just so he can get to the fight a bit faster.
Well, the Blink Abyssal is huge, too, in this fight.
Yeah,
so.
And just to move around towards the base more quickly, jump from lane to lane. I mean, it's just something you can buy right now at the side shop as well.
How much gold does Slark have left?
How does this Ancient Apparition still not have eggs at 70 minutes? He's got 6k net worth.
I think he's been extremely sacrificial by buying all the wards in the late
game.
Yeah. Well, you know, you got to save for buybacks.
I mean, it's not mattering, it looks like. But EHOME now battering down the front door. This is the mega creeps they want. The tower glyphed. They continue the onslaught. HR completely hemmed in. They have no weave right now. The lasso from Ohio again connecting on goddamn. They devour him with ease. He'll buy back instantly. Gorish now caught. And one by one, they all fall down. HR crumbling under the pressure. EHOME a little more poise, and they blink in for more. Inflame going hard in the paint onto Arts, onto goddamn. Yeah, ZYF going as well. Are they going to overcommit?
Okay.
Inflame dropping low. He has reincarnation though. And now Arts is running out of spells. He will refresh. He's got the second Abyssal. He's got the second ultimate, but he gets stunned. Oh. He gets up nothing, and he dies. That's a dieback for the Slark. And with that HR, it's pretty much all over. GG. How did they let this one slip away? This should have been their game.
And just in an EHOME fashion, this takes me back to 2010, right? This is how the games went. Yeah, you don't count Dusa out on on the pause at the end. Oh,
a big win for EHOME, but
huge win, huge win.
Wow, stressful game.
It is. I mean,
Slark went what 18-0,
18-0,
and then 22-4. He
so
ends the game.
4-4.
yeah,
They have to go back to the replay and look at those bottom pushes and just you have to be honest with yourself and say, why are we diving for kills? We can just hit buildings, take racks, back off, go to another lane. Instead, they get greedy. And yes, Ohio had a great initiation mid, but the game should have been decided long before that.
Also, I think HellRaisers showed their inexperience by trying the same thing over and over again. They kept trying to go for those Raxes. I think the late game TP play, for example, where they picked off Inflame once, was something they could have tried for. The Lincoln Sphere play was something they could try for. But I think things like these, you just learn as you go along.
It is a learning experience, and I imagine they will learn a lot from this.
You know, Bon Jovi says you give love a bad name, and I think HellRaisers kind of give CIS Dota a bad name in a way that we talk about CIS and how they focus on just team fighting and fighting and not going for objectives. This is the kind of games that gives them this reputation, and this is something that you cannot afford.
Well, I mean, the other thing is that CIS is really good at aggression overall, right? They put themselves in a position where they just overran EHOME for the first 25
and
minutes.
And that lineup is good at punishing aggression. You dive too far into Medusa, Stone Gaze puts you in a really awkward position. Batrider, the master of that. So I think HR shows a lot of potential, though. They are consistently at least breaking even, often dominating the laning stage against some of the teams that I think are the best in this tournament. Secret we saw earlier. We see EHOME, one of the, to me, despite the way that they're starting off pretty weak in the laning stage, still, I think moving forward, they will continue to be one of the top threats.
Is it outrageous to say that HR could beat any one of these teams?
No, I don't think so.
They just need to, like, tie it up.
Yeah. Well, with that said, I think we got standings, Bruno.
Yeah, we got standings, and they look really, really great for a couple teams. One of them being Rave.
Rave OP.
4-1, beating Newbie. Destroying Newbie, I will quote K-Poptosis. Very, very convincingly.
All right.
Team Secret
all aboard the Rave hype train.
I guess.
Korean Dota. Well, not really. Pinoy Dota, but
yeah. EHOME, put by most of us as a top 8 team, looks very comfortably going that way. Same with Vici Gaming. Big God is one of the teams that we're going to see a lot of today.
Who did they lose to?
Big God.
Secret.
Yeah, they lost to Secret and they lost to Vici, I want to say.
Okay. So, well, they were 2-1 at the start of the day, right?
No, wait. Did they play today?
Yes, they did. They were 2-1 at the beginning of the day. Seems like they lost
Wildcard 2. They won versus HGT.
So they lost to HGT.
Yes, they lost to Hyperglory.
Yeah, that is true.
Okay.
Or Hard to Get Together.
That's a bit unexpected for me. Can we see our bottom half of the bracket?
No. Take.
We know Navi won, so that's a plus.
Navi finally got a win.
Navi finally got a win versus TDEC. It was a very good game for Navi. They had the advantage. They had Troll. They had things going on for them.